Hello everyone, I'm Sharpedo43 once again, bringing you all another Wi-Fi battle. This is going to be an OU battle, and my opponent for it is going to be Toysofwar. I don't know if you people remember who this fella is, but he's actually someone that I battled in UU previously, like in the very early Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon days, basically, like when it was released. Actually, no, I think it was like in around New Year's, kind of like in the month of January or something. But yeah, he came back. He wanted to rematch me, surprisingly enough, because let me tell you something. There are some people that when they beat you in battles, they usually don't want to rematch you again, in all honesty. Some reasons are understandable, but others is just like, eh. But in his case, he actually wanted to rematch me, despite him actually giving me the biggest of whoopings, because, yeah, I forgot to tell you, he and I battled in UU, and he's actually the one that actually freaking gave me the whooping with freaking Como, because he got to set up a belly drum and his damn thing had soundproof and I didn't even realize it. So as a result, I got destroyed. I got like 4-0'd in that battle. I'll link the description, the video in the description if you guys want to check me out, get like manhandled or something. So yeah, so he's back, like I said, and he wants to do an OU battle this time around, and I was like, okay. So I'm gonna give this team once again another shot, because I was able to beat Selvash 10 in the last battle, so I'm hoping I can actually do something with this team against Toysofwar. Toysofwar is a very good battler, obviously. Otherwise, how the hell would he have kicking my ass? But then again, I'm not really the best battler either, honestly. So, but here we go. His team is gonna consist of a freaking Gyarados, a Ferrothorn, a Hydreigon, Tabalele, Volcarona. I don't know why on earth he has a Vigoroth, in all honesty. Vigoroth. I don't know how you say that name. I'll just call it Vigoroth. Vigoroth. That sounds cool. But yeah, but he has it in this team for some reason. That's kind of odd, in all honesty. He has a couple mons that are under the OU tier, which is actually kind of interesting. But yeah, I don't like the Volcarona whatsoever. The Volcarona is one of the mons that has scarred me for life. Basically, of what it's because there was this one battle that I had against someone who actually got away with sweeping me with a Volcarona, and since then I just never wanted to ever face a Volcarona. But here's this fella once again with a Volcarona, and I hope I don't get destroyed by that thing. If I can prevent a Volcarona sweep, I think I'll be content with all that, but we'll see. So he's gonna lead off with the Vigoroth right now, and I led with Zapdos. I went for Volt Switch because seeing how he just led with it like that kind of gave me the impression that I don't know if this thing can get like Endeavor or something and maybe gets a priority attack and like Sucker Punch or Quick Attack, but I did not want to find out. And if he had to Endeavor something here, it would be this. And seeing how it took a lot of damage from the Volt Switch tells me that it's either super frail so that it can go for Endeavor and just weaken anything I switch in very, very quickly, or it's just that's just normally how frail Vigoroth is. But either way, I switched in the Ferrothorn nonetheless, and I did try to get some spikes up. He definitely predicted me to go for the spikes attempt, and he's gonna hard switch in the Volcarona, which is already annoying, cause I literally don't got anything for this thing. So what I'm gonna do right here is actually go for the Leech Seed. I actually was hoping that he would try to go for Quiver Dance, but he does not, so I just lose Ferrothorn right here. There was literally nothing I could do. I just did not want him to get a Quiver Dance up, honestly. So, and if I did, not without it, at least getting some Leech Seed off, so I can get some passive recovery on something while this thing sets up on the off chance it doesn't have Roost. Because if it has Roost, then that's just the whole game, honestly. This is why I don't like Volcarona. These things have a way to set up, and then they have reliable recovery on top of that. But anyways, here comes Mega Lopunny. I'm just gonna go for the return. I could lose Lopunny right here, but I just wanted to get as much damage on this thing as possible. I went straight for the return to see if this was a defensive Volcarona, because the defensive Volcaronas, in my opinion, are the ones that are the worst, in all honesty. But this one doesn't seem to be, since it did a lot more damage with return, and it's almost going down as well. And seeing how he went for Quiver Dance and not Roost as I switch in the Mimikyu here, telling me that maybe just maybe he doesn't have Roost on this thing, which would be good, because honestly, I don't like Roost Quiver Dancing Volcarona. It's a really annoying ass set, in all honesty. And it's one of the ones that I've actually, you know, I just dread to remember. But here we go. He's gonna switch it out because he saw me switching the Mimikyu to try to go for a Shadow Sneak, and that's exactly what I do, because I cannot mess around with a Volcarona at +1 on 3 stats. So he's gonna actually predict this and switch in the Ferrothorn, punish my attempts at Shadow Sneaking with Iron Barbs, and here, I do believe I switch out. I think I switch into Tapu Fini. I don't remember, though. I think I do switch into Tapu. No, I go into Garchomp. I guess if he tries to go for, like, a Gyro Ball or something, I can just go for a, or I could punish his Gyro Ball attempt with Rocky Helmet and Rough Skin. But he's actually going to get his own Rocks up, which is actually not bad. So here, I think I try to get my own rocks up, seeing how he got rocks up himself. So I got a layer of spikes as well as rocks, so that's actually really good for me. But here he goes for the leech seed. Now because I saw leech seed, I was really like afraid of the protecting attempt. Either that or him trying to predict me to switch out and go for another leech seed. So what I decided to do right here was just go for the dragon tail after this thing went for leech seed on me. It's annoying, and the other switching that I phase Ferrothorn into or out of, I don't know, is gonna get recovery from leech seed as well, but at least he gets rid of this Ferrothorn and not trying to predict me. As you saw right there, he did try to predict me, and he actually went for another leech seed. That's why I went for dragon tail, because I was like, yeah, I don't want you to try to leech seed something else on my switching, especially now that he has the rocks up, because that would just cripple me even further. With rocks and then leech seed, it's just gonna be a real pain in the rear end. I did not want to deal with that. So I phased him. I phased him into Gyarados, which is, yeah, just about as annoying because this thing can set up Dragon Dances and can substitute, in all honesty. I'm gonna hard switch Garchomp nonetheless because I don't want to give this thing recovery with leech seed, and I'm gonna hard switch into Zapdos and hope he doesn't go for the Ice Fang, even though he kind of could do that given that he was standing in front of a Garchomp, and if my Garchomp is slow, then this Gyarados can just get away with Ice Fanging me. But as you're gonna see right here, he is gonna Mega Evolve, and he's actually gonna try to go for the Dragon Dance because he figures why not, because he can definitely take a Earthquake from a Garchomp, whether it's offensive or not. They don't typically carry fighting type moves for Mega Gyarados either, so it was natural for him to go for Dragon Dance here. But this Zapdos is actually scarfed. I nonetheless go for Volt Switch because I was convinced that a Thunderbolt will not be enough to take out a Mega Gyarados, because as you can see, Mega Gyarados is just straight up bulky on the special side. Not so much on the physical side, but definitely on the special side. So as a result, I had to go for Volt Switch to at least cripple it, and then bring it back later and try to Volt Switch again. Because looking at his team, not a whole lot is immune to the Volt Switching, basically. So yeah, here I'm gonna switch into Tapu Fini to see how well I can take a Crunch or Ice Fang or Waterfall, whatever he goes for. Usually a lot of the moves that Gyarados has doesn't really touch Tapu Fini except Earthquake, but it doesn't seem like he has it right here. Here, I think I tried to go for Nature's Madness just to cut his HP further or something. Oh, no. I did go for Nature's Madness. I thought I didn't. I thought I went for Taunt, but no, I didn't. I actually went for Nature's Madness on the off chance he wanted to switch in something that is relatively healthy, like this Ferrothorn, for example. But actually, what he ended up doing was just switching into Vygarth to just sack it, basically, which is pretty good on his part. Here, I'm going to Taunt with this Tapu Fini because I don't want this guy to predict me and just try to Leech Seed me again. I'd rather he take out my Tapu Fini with a Power Whip, but he doesn't go for Power Whip, thankfully. He actually ends up going for the Gyro Ball here, and as a result, it does a lot of damage, so that's actually one of the reasons why I'm kind of tempted to switch out right here into Garchomp, because that Gyro Ball just did way too much damage that it's not even funny. In fact, as I switch in Garchomp right here, you're going to see right here that it's going to do just about as much, if not more damage to Garchomp, but the good news is that it's going to get punished by Rocky Helmet and Rough Skin, which is kind of what I wanted, because I kind of want to cripple this Ferrothorn enough so that it kind of just stops recovering, because this Leftovers is actually bringing it to a good amount of HP. And if he keeps attacking me, then it's just going to get weakened even further. Here I go for Earthquake just to be offensive with this Ferrothorn and just freaking cripple it. And if he tries to attack me again, then I'll just be in a good position, obviously, because he is going to in fact go for Power Whip to take out my Garchomp. But once again, he's going to get punished with more Rocky Helmet damage and Rough Skin, almost KOing it, which is kind of unfortunate because I would have liked to have had it KO'd, but having this thing crippled and weakened to the point where it can't really do much other than just fodder it, that's actually really good for me. So what I'm going to do right now is just send out Mimikyu. I think I just went for the Shadow Claw here. I think the reason I sent it in right here was just because it can hit a lot of things on this team hard. Nothing switches into it, so he has to pretty much let this thing go down. He doesn't try to preserve it because Mimikyu will hit something on his team really hard. His Volcarona is also kind of crippled. Here he's going to go into Hydreigon. Now here I switch out because obviously Hydreigon is naturally faster than Mimikyu if it's not Choice Scarfed, and even if it was Choice Scarfed, I mean, he could still have Flash Cannon, and I did not want to take a Flash Cannon. There was also the possibility of it being Specs, which I think would guarantee a KO against Mimikyu. I don't know if Scarf would, but I didn't want to take the risk nonetheless, so I just hard switched into Tapu Fini. He, wisely enough, has Defog on this damn Hydreigon. I almost never see Defog on Hydreigons. They usually carry 3 attacking moves with U-turn. But in this case, he actually had Defog, which allows him to get rid of both the spikes that I set up as well as the rocks. However, it does cause him to lose his rocks as well, which is actually good because a lot of my team was getting crippled just by a lot of switching around. But the bad news is that he does have this Volcarona, which I do get to take it out with Surf, thankfully, because he actually chooses to sack this, because I'm guessing he's still afraid that my Tapu Fini had Moonblast for the Hydreigon. But fun fact, I actually don't have Moonblast on this Tapu Fini. It actually had Nature's Madness with Taunt and Defog. But yeah, I think I was supposed to take off Taunt for the Moonblast, but I guess I mean, it's not a bad thing because it actually kind of did me some good against in this battle against the Ferrothorn, because it prevented him from trying to Leech Seed, you know. But here's gonna bring Tapu Lele, which is actually kind of bad, and this actually forces me to sack Mimikyu, because this Mimikyu kind of doesn't do much to the rest of his team, particularly that Hydreigon, because it doesn't outspeed Hydreigon. So what I do here is just go into Zapdos, or well, I sack Mimikyu first, then I go into Zapdos after he takes me out with a Psychic, or I think it was Moonblast, I don't remember. But here I'm gonna Volt Switch. I am Scarfed on this Zapdos, so if this thing is Scarfed, I outspeed it. But what I wanted to do right here is go for Volt Switch, so that I can cripple it well enough so that I can just send out Tapu Fini, and then just change the terrain, because I kind of don't want this Tapu Lele to have Psychic Terrain, because Psychic Terrain is a really devastating ability, or it's devastating terrain, because as long as Tapu Lele's in it, it's gonna hit super hard with Psychic. So here he does go for Psychic, and it doesn't take me out thanks to the fact that I sent out the Electric Terrain. And now here I'm just gonna Hard Switch in the Zapdos, because seeing how well Tapu Fini took the Psychic from Tapu Lele, I was thinking, okay, now that the rocks are gone, I should be able to take another Psychic. And thankfully I do, narrowly, but I do survive it nonetheless. And what I'm going to do here is once again go for Volt Switch. He doesn't want to switch out, it seems, because he knows he can just, like, not a whole lot switches into Psychic very well. But what I'm going to do here now is just sack Tapu Fini. The plan right here was basically just to go for Volt Switching until it was crippled enough so that it's in range for a Thunderbolt to take it out. And so after losing Tapu Fini, I'm going to send Zapdos yet again and just go for more Thunderbolts. Well, actually switch up Volt Switch to Thunderbolt now, because now that it's in range of Thunderbolt, I can just take it out with Thunderbolt. The only problem here is that if he switches into the Hydreigon, that would be an issue, but thankfully he does not do that. What he does here instead is sack the Gyarados, and then he's gonna bring out the Hydreigon. Had he just, actually, you know what, I don't think this really mattered, honestly, had he sacked the Gyarados or whether he just hard switched into the Hydreigon, because I think Mega Lopunny would have taken it out anyways. But here's the thing, he's gonna send out Hydreigon right here. Now, obviously, I definitely preserve my Zapdos even though it's weakened at this point, because it's Scarfed, and my Lopunny here, which is my Mega, is not Scarfed because it can't be Scarfed. So what I do here is pretty much potentially sack Lopunny here, because what I do here is see if it can actually take it a Draco Meteor, and it can, thankfully. But the problem here is that if this thing is Scarfed as well, I pretty much just lose, honestly. Thankfully for me, this thing turned out to not be Scarfed, so I was able to outspeed it and hit it with an Ice Punch. I could have taken it out with Drain Punch, but the reason I didn't go for Drain Punch was because I was afraid of the switch in the Tapu Lele, and that would have definitely quad resist the Drain Punch, and it would have survived, and then it would have taken out my Lopunny, and then I would have nothing for the Hydreigon. I needed that damage on Hydreigon on the off chance he stayed in, or if he missed Draco Meteor, if he was Scarfed. But he wasn't Scarfed for one thing, and second of all, he did miss the Draco. According to him, it supposedly mattered because of the fact that it would have I would have had nothing for Tapu Lele. But if I got the Ice Punch off there and he hit the Draco Meteor, in all honesty, it would have just come down to, actually, I don't even think it would have come down to anything, because if you look at it, at the HP that I had after it took the Ice Punch, had he hit the Draco Meteor, he would have taken out another round of Life Orb, because if you guys didn't see, he did have Life Orb on that Hydreigon, and it would have left him with a smidgen of HP that I think even with a resisted Thunderbolt from an offensive Zapdos, it should have been enough to take out the Hydreigon from where it was, in all honesty. And then as soon as I take out Hydreigon, then I just take out the Tapu Lele with Thunderbolt, as you saw right there. So honestly, I don't know what the big deal is with the whole potentially the Draco missing mattering, in all honesty, because it was with a little smidgen of HP. I know this is level 100, and I know that the offensive power is actually reduced in level 100 battles, but I don't know, it didn't really look convincing that it would be. According to him, it was supposedly a damage roll, because supposedly that little bit of smidgen of HP that he would have had right there would have been like 80, which could be the case considering it's level 100. But at the same time, it looked, the amount of HP that I saw on the HP bar, it just looked so small that I didn't think it would definitely be taking any Thunderbolt from a Zapdos, because the Zapdos was offensive. If it was defensive, then probably I can see it definitely taking a hit or two from a Thunderbolt, but it was an offensive Zapdos. And Thunderbolt has more base power than Volt Switch. If I went for Volt Switch even, that would have probably potentially taken it even from where it was at. But I went for Thunderbolt, which is stab and has a high base power. So I don't know honestly about it being able to survive a Thunderbolt. Either way, that the battle was really close nonetheless. I don't even know why I'm complaining about the freaking it's because what happened was that it kind of bugged me a little bit that he said that ooh, that mattered. Like he acts like it as if he would have definitely won had he hit the Draco meter. But in all honesty, I don't know about that honestly, because I already mentioned it. It was Life Orbed, would have taken another round of Life Orb. It was way too low in HP that to probably even take a Thunderbolt from a offensive Zapdos. There was just no way he could win. At least I felt at least the way he played it at the very end. I think, but I'll let you guys decide. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that miss mattered, or do you guys think it didn't matter? I'll let you people decide on that in the comments if you guys want. But with all that said, thank you all for watching this battle. I'll catch you guys in the next battle, but for now, just take it easy.